jersey number 28, Frederic Denis, all start this hockey game.
Well, exciting times in there to get those veterans back and to have a rookie in the lineup, a rookie Blue Jacket. Why not feed off their energy and excitement?
Absolutely. Up along the wall, Nathan Gerbe, who had a bounce-back season a year ago. He's riding a 2-game point scoring streak, 16 goals in the season. And an offside will enable us to check out tonight's Toyota Keys, presented by your Central Ohio Toyota dealer.
And key number 1, do your job. You know, guys get in and out of the lineup. Sometimes you try to compensate. You get up the depth chart a little bit. Just do what you do and do it well. Second efforts all night in front of the net, in battles. Do your second effort. Get in there. Hang in those battles. And key number 3, let's have some fun. 5-game losing streak. Get those thoughts behind you. And like they were saying in the room, let's look forward.
Eric Stahl sweeps it into the corner. Ryan Johansson, whose 10-game point scoring streak came to an abrupt end in New Jersey, telling me this morning he's looking to start another one here tonight. Can't think of a better opportunity for the Jackets home here before heading on to Raleigh for a Friday night engagement, then come home to play Tampa. The Lightning certainly one of the teams to beat in the Eastern Conference, and one that many suggest could very well represent the East come playoff time in the Stanley Cup Finals. Johansson lumbers into the zone, tried to chip it in front, taken wide. Finishing a check there is Hartnell up along the wall. The Canes attempt to clear. Good work there by Dalton Prout to step up. He drops it back for Atkinson. Traffic in front. And play called. Hartnell went right to the net and avoided that puck up high.
Yeah, you mentioned good work on the wall by Dalton Prout. There he jumps up into the play. That's an offensive play to keep the play alive. Works out perfectly. Atkinson gets the puck. Throws it in there, and Hartnell is just off to the side, not in front of Ward. Ward grabs it there. There's Dalton Prout back in the lineup again. He's been in and out a couple times. Look for him to take advantage of an opportunity again.
Well, he wants to stay in the lineup. Foligno, who plays his second game between Gibbons and Skilly, manning the center ice position. Shot right on Ward. He'll turn that one aside. Second shot for the Jackets in the early moments of this hockey game. Skilly works the wall with some help from Foligno. Foligno's stick was tied up. He's able to dig it free. Looks to the point. Long shot there. Redirected in front. Leading the other way was Ward, but it just trickled wide in that far corner.
Nice opportunity. This line started the other night in New Jersey. Their first shift with a goal. Instant chemistry with Skilly, Foligno, and Gibbons. They enjoy working together, and you can see it right away again here tonight.
Gibbons certainly making an impression in his debut, picking up a couple of assists. And again, patrols that line. That is certainly going to be one of the speedier lines for the Jackets tonight. Gerbe redirected wide by McElhinney. Up along the wall, Sekera deals to the right point. Long shot there. And play is called as Falk sends it right in on McElhinney. And a look at the first-year coach of those Carolina Hurricanes, Bill Peters.
Not even a month into his NHL coaching debut. He got his first win the other night against the Arizona Coyotes. And he benched Semin, the veteran player, the big-time salary player, high profile. And that's quite a statement by a rookie coach to bench a guy like that. But boy, did he get a response. 2 wins from his Carolina Hurricanes, and looking for a response out of Semin here tonight.
How about putting him right back into the lineup and putting him on the top line?
Well, that's interesting too, but who knows how long that'll last if he doesn't produce. Accountability has been stated by the head coach, Bill Peters.
Peters did say that Jeff Skinner, who's moved to the 4th line, would move up if Semin didn't show anything tonight. Falk has lost his stick. Meantime, the puck in neutral territory. A flip pass there by Hartnell looking for Atkinson. Turned over. Here comes Gerbe with speed. The former Buffalo Sabre from the left wing. Deflected by Jack Johnson and out of play. 2:53 in. We get a whistle, and let's check out tonight's injury and scratch report, brought to you by none other than Elkin Elk, and that list continues to grow. Tonight, it's at 8 players.
Well, I think it's the same number. A couple different names. Murray was in the last game along with Golubov. Murray had a setback with his lower body injury, and Golubov ran into the post there, and he's out for a little while. But you get 2 guys back up front, and you lose 2 guys on the point, and that's where Frederic St. Denis gets an opportunity here tonight.
Corey Tromp and Adam Cracknell are the healthy scratches tonight. Race for the puck. The former Jacket Ron Hainsey takes a hit. Up along the wall, it's swept. Looking there for Riley Nash. Gerbe Pass went behind Nash. Belmore steps up. Jackets. Wenberg carries in. Tried to feed Matt Calvert. Calvert missing 4 games. Says the legs should be great tonight. The Jackets are certainly looking for Calvert and Jenner to lead the way.
It's funny, you depend on your legs a lot to feel good, and sometimes in your first game back, or in Boone's case, your first game of the year, you want to do so much, you just can't get them going. So watch these guys to settle in and get some tempo as the game goes on.
Left wing pass, Falk gets it ahead. Terry in across the line. He scored a goal in that win over Los Angeles on Sunday night. Jackets will play it in the corner. Good work there by Chaput. Along the wall. Gets it ahead here for Marco Dano. Bull streaks down the right side. Jared Bull looking for his first goal of the season. And it's not from a lack of effort. Jackets play the puck. That's Erickson, who's paired with Dalton Prout. Jackets had 8 healthy defensemen. All of a sudden, there are 5. Thus the recall of Frederic St. Denis, who's played 17 games previously in the National Hockey League, all with Montreal. Bull dumps in. Toss it to the far side for Belmore. Pressure coming there from Gibbons. Belmore fights it off on to Skinner. Skinner, long lead feed to the right wing for Dwyer, and icing is the call. Well, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time. Later in tonight's game, it's brought to you by Miller Lite.
And here's Jack Skilly, and this guy has seized the opportunity. And I talked to him today, and he said it's so great because when you play 7 to 8 minutes, you squeeze the stick because you might only get that one scoring chance. But getting 12 to 14 minutes, he knows more chances are coming, so he can relax and enjoy the game more.
Not bad for him to step in and play alongside Foligno either.
Well, he just lit up when I talked to him about playing the other night in New Jersey, and he was kind of relieved, and he said, I've never had this opportunity in the National Hockey League, and it's good to see a guy get that chance and take advantage of it.
Penalty upcoming here, and it will be to Columbus for hooking. So Carolina will get the first power play of the evening. A hooking call assessed here to Gibbons.
Bonus penalty number 23, 2 minutes hooking.
And that's an offensive zone penalty for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Off a face-off here, you got going for the puck in the corner. Just a quiet little hook there.
Carolina 8th in power play efficiency, 7 for 32, 21.9%. The Jackets have fallen to 26th. Wenberg shorthanded, moving in. Falk takes him wide. Wenberg doesn't give up on it. Good work there by the rookie. Wenberg winning the battle below the goal line. Falk continues to chase. Great work here on the penalty kill.
Impressive speed by Wenberg. He saw the puck bounce over the defenseman's stick. Falk at the blue line, and he took off.
Do you think that maybe he gained a little confidence with that performance in New Jersey? Here's a quick shot. Short side stop there by McElhaney.
I think he did for sure. It just settled him down. He was blocking shots. The focus was defense with Forsberg in the net, and I think that kind of settled his game down, and he simplified.
Falk wearing that face shield and the football helmet guard after taking a puck to the face Saturday. Came back, played Sunday after taking stitches.
I tell you what, Curtis McElhaney gets back in the net after being in, and then Forsberg was in, and he looks sharp. He's moving well laterally. He's focused on the puck. We watched him today in pregame skate. We watched him in warm-up. He's extremely focused. He wasn't available for the media at all today. He's a veteran player, and I think he is out again to prove that that's his net.
Well, he certainly played well in the preseason, and of course that's all before the injury, that first start in Ottawa. He went 2-0, made 3 appearances, very respectable goals against average, and he's back between the pipes here tonight. Trying to backstop the Jackets to victory, and a turnover. Ryan Johansson shorthanded, moving in, fires a shot, and the stop by Ward. Great anticipation by Ryan Johansson. And not much of a breakaway, but he does get a scoring chance.
Big man with a quick stick. You see that little pick off there? And he gets going up the ice. I love what he does here. He doesn't do that little spin back move we've seen where guys try to spin back and buy time and hope the guy falls down. He shoots the puck. Gets a whistle in the offensive zone. Gets off the ice.
Jody, I like the aggressiveness of the Jackets on the penalty kill, because tonight, in this first power play for Carolina, the Jackets have had the 2 scoring chances.
They seem to have a read on what Carolina's trying to do here.
Call that great advanced scouting. Up along the board. Riley Nash. Cycling out of the corner. Comes right back to Nash on the half board. Nash turns away. Deals to Falk. Falk looks top of the circle. Falk will let one fly through the crowd. It sails wide of the net. 20 seconds remaining in the Gibbons penalty for hooking. Chaput able to knock it out of the air. Good hand-eye coordination along the wall here now. Falk. Falk one-timer far side. Look at McElhinney come out. Cut off the angle and makes the stop.
That's right. He was way out past the top of the paint in the crease. He's on his toes.
Oh, look at that. Flashing the leather. And hanging on. 1 second remain in that Gibbons penalty. And the Jackets will be back to full strength.
Curtis McElhinney, he's been in a tough position. He's waited for his opportunity. He gets in, and Forsberg gets to play the last game. But how about McElhinney tonight? Comes off from there. He's not sure where it is, but he's ready. From wide arena, 13-14 left in the first period. No score, and there's a look at the two goaltenders tonight, Curtis McElhinney, Anton Forsberg. And if you look back at that West Coast trip, defending the net, protecting the goalies, too much in front of the net. Here's a Toronto game. I thought they did a good job at points of getting the puck from the middle of the ice, making plays down below the goal line in front of their goaltender, and getting the puck up ice. And I thought they did a good job of that in New Jersey too. Clog in the middle. Out west, it was too much in front of them, too much banging the goalies, Bobrovsky, McElhinney. But the last couple games, they've settled that down, and that's a key if the Jackets want to get some points against teams every night in the NHL.
Incidentally, they just concluded Carolina power play. They had a total of 6 shots. But McElhinney stands tall in the Columbus net. 6 minutes, 48 seconds gone here in the opening period. A face-off with the puck going out of play. Will come to McElhinney's right. Ryan Johansson set for the draw against Jay McClement. From the face-off. Backhanded towards the net. Johansson knocks that down. Sekera and Falk, the defensive pairing. Frederic St. Denis, jersey number 28, takes it from Johansson. Head up, walks to the line. All 17 previous games in the National Hockey League played in Montreal with the Canadiens. A goal and 2 assists. He has to show. Played the entire season in Springfield. Did not get a recall. Here's Sekera. Fires on, and McElhinney will hold on.
Now let's take a look at this just a few moments ago, and St. Denis, just the guy you were talking about, is out on the ice. And well done. You can see 5 Blue Jackets on the screen right away. St. Denis is putting pressure on, but Ryan Johansson with patience, stay in the middle of the ice. Protect the middle of the ice, Jeff. It's so important. You let teams pass through that area, it's going to get dangerous, and that goalie's got to move around way too much.
Great point by you, too, talking about Frederic St. Denis. What he did say to us this morning is, hey, this system, same as we play in Springfield, so I can just step into the lineup and know what my duties are.
Well, isn't it amazing that a lot of teams in America don't play the same system? And what an advantage it is for these guys. Exactly. It calms you down when you know you don't have to sit with the coach in the National Hockey League team and figure out the system and then get ready that night and jump in and play it.
Calvert tried to feed Jenner. Upended as Jenner gets right back on his feet. Crowd looking for a penalty to be called. Eric Stahl trying to hold off Wenberg along the boards, reaching for Jenner, and he rifles it wide of the net. Jack Johnson in off the point. Johnson steps away from Harrison. Puck rimmed around the wall. Jack Johnson had pinched in, so nobody guarding that right point. The Jackets are forced back.
Yeah, that's Jack Johnson checking forward, keeping the puck in that offensive zone, trying to get it to Boone Jenner. They just couldn't hang it in there.
Nash drops it along the wall. Lindholm try to move it. Jackets chip it. Skilly out to center, tried to feed Gibbons. Lindholm. Here's Gerby. Poke check there. Saved at the line and fired out of play from the right point.
Hey fans, how would you like to join the Blue Jackets in Florida for a game against the Lightning this January? Well, text tonight's keyword goalie to 37664 and you're entered to win a trip to Tampa, including accommodations at the Swan and Dolphin Resort in Orlando. Again, tonight's keyword is goalie.
Rask will take the draw here. against Michael Chaput. Shot by Bellemare. Jackets block that. Moving up ice, there's Dano. Dano trying to sweep it past the ball. Oh boy, Bellemare just got enough of it to steer it away. Rask dumps it wide of the Jackets' net. Dalton Trout back defending. Quickly chips ahead here for Chaput. Jackets break up. Chaput for Hartnell. Jackets change up here on the fly. Oh boy, Hartnell just dropped the Carolina forward there. Terry, he had no idea Hartnell was there.
Well, he didn't know the puck was there either, I don't think, Terry. And Hartnell took advantage of that. Perfect timing for a nice big hit.
Jackets are going to get a penalty. Delayed call here. They're not going to call Hartnell there, are they?
Hartnell on the back check, I think. You can hear the stick. Let's see what the penalty is here, but
Columbus, number 43, 2 minutes, interference.
Interference is the call, so Hartnell goes off. He's going to set the Jackets on their second penalty kill here.
9:28 the time of the interference penalty. The Jackets killed off a full 2 minutes of the first opportunity. They did allow 6 shots.
And that whole offensive zone sequence was caused by a huge block by Marco Dano in the defensive zone. Puck went down the ice. He went off, actually. Talked to Mike Vord. He's still on the bench. He seemed to get shaken a little bit by blocking the shot, but love to see that from the young player, getting in the lane and getting a puck in the offensive zone.
Jackets very aggressive. Despite the 6 shots by Carolina in the first power play, they had 2 scoring chances themselves. Wenberg, and then later on, Ryan Johansson, who picked off an intended pass by the Kings. Saved at the line by Rask, thrown in front. Stahl tried to steer it home. Jackets scoop up the puck along the near boards, and it's backhanded out by Fedor-Tutin. The steadiest of all Jackets defensemen since the start of the season.
Well, he just negated Eric Stahl there, down below the goal line where Stahl is so dangerous. And then he finishes it off by getting the puck at the top of the circle, making sure it goes down all the way to the far goal line and gets off the ice. Good heads-up play by Fedor-Tutin.
Calvert. Able to get it away from Dwyer. Far side moving up. McElhinney's there. Kick save. The right pad. Tossed behind the net. Jackets pursue the puck, and it's Calvert who will backhand it over the stick of Falk and back into Carolina territory. 45 seconds remain in that Hartnell penalty.
Nice to have Matty Calvert back on that penalty kill.
Jackets had a superb practice yesterday. In fact, a teaching practice that Coach Todd Richards called one of the best practices the Jackets have had all season long.
Wow, superb.
Out to center. Chip back in there by Jack Johnson. Great penalty killing here by the Jackets.
Well, they're getting back to work, aren't they?
They sure are. And that has been a problem for the Jackets here of late. The penalty kill. They've allowed all 9 opposition power play goals here in the last 25 shorthanded situations prior to tonight over the previous 6 games. Hartnell steps out. Jackets 2 for 2 on the kill. And that's got to be a boost, I would think.
It is. And well, penalty killing is hard work, quick thinking, good decisions. And that's good for the Jackets to get through those 2 without anything against.
Wojciech across the line. Wojciech standing up. Jack Johnson. Harrison throws it in front. Jackets do a little clearing in front. Dwyer with a hit there on Foligno. Hartnell will step into him. Here's Foligno. Flips it. A pass on the wing. Matt Calvert pulls the trigger. Harrison steps in front of it. Gets a stick on it. Jackets below the goal line. Jenner to the point. Savard. St. Denis. Calvert hustles. Jenner finishing a check. Savard in off the point. Calvert on to Boone Jenner. Cruising in front there is Wenberg. Camp right there in the slot. Jackets protect the puck. Throw it back here to Savard. Gets away from him and there's a race. Wojciech comes in as Savard was beat, but the last line of defense, Curtis McElhinney with the stop. As we go to break, a foot race. Wojciech denied.
Back at Nationwide, a scoreless game between the Canes and the Jackets. Dave Metzold with Jeff Rimmer and Jody Shelley. Hey, right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, the one trait that makes Nick Foligno a driving force for the Blue Jackets, who will emerge in the stacked-up AFC North race, and a highly touted recruit commits to the Buckeyes. Find out why he'll make one spot even more crowded. Get complete coverage of all of today's action involving Ohio sports, brought to you by 1-800-SAFEAUTO.com.
From the drop, Skilly got just enough of it to edge it out of the zone. Jackets have not had an official shot on goal here in the last 6 minutes. Bouncing puck, Foligno on there for Gibbons. Right wing feed, Skilly plays it off the wall, settles down that rolling puck, steps to center, dumps to the open corner beyond the outstretched hockey paraphernalia of Falk. Thrown in front and out to center.
Gibbons tried to go cross ice there to Jack Johnson, but Jack couldn't connect with that pass. A little low. Jackets regroup and re-enter.
Wire edges it ahead. This is Skinner. Skinner chips to the Jackets line. Dalton Prout. Got a couple of good defensive plays here in this first period. 6:35 left. Ryan Johansson steps into the linesman there. Players are getting bigger, the officials are getting bigger, and there's only so much ice. We learned that in Los Angeles. Oh, kick save and a beauty. A right pad there of McElhaney. Here's a breakaway for Atkinson onside. Moves in, and Ward kicks out that left pad and is able to knock it away from Atkinson. A glorious scoring opportunity. Here at the point, Prout can't make the play.
Just a rolling puck on Prout. Atkinson tried to connect, but it just rolled over Prout's stick.
Cam Atkinson takes a stretch pass, walks in, and Ward makes a great stop in here. Hartnell in his first fight, he's going here with Harrison.
Harrison's a big boy. Oh, so is Hartnell.
Oh, boy.
Hartnell didn't like the way he bumped him on the boards. Pulled him in tight, had something to say to him. Figured they'd go with dropping the gloves.
Hartnell may be hurt. Oh, he's getting up. As we go to break, Atkinson moves in. Look at that right pad.
Back here at Nationwide Arena, still scoreless. We just saw Scotty Hartnell with his first fight of the year. Good energy so far in this period. Craig Hartsburg, you like what you're seeing?
Well, I think we've got good energy from two really good kills, and Max made a couple saves for us. We got to build on that and get better offensively.
We're seeing Boone Jenner for the first time this season. What are you seeing out of his game so far? Real early.
Well, he plays hard. He plays with energy, and again, the more he plays, he'll get in sync with the team game and all that. But he brings what Boone brings every night. That's he plays with his heart.
5:40 left. Major penalties assessed to Harrison and Hartnell. Jackets in the offensive zone. Puck gets away from Calvert. Working against 3 Carolina Hurricanes. Tried to get it back. There's Falk. Chased by Boone Jenner. Calvert deep on the forecheck. Sekera trying to keep it away. Jenner comes. Jackets come in waves. And you know what you're going to get from this line, Jody.
Yeah, Craig Hartsburg just said it. I love what he said about Boone. Plays with his heart. It's a big compliment for a player.
Now it's Chaput on the forecheck. Up dumped in by Boychuk. Played here by Tim Erickson. Dalton Prout scoops it up in the corner. Headman's that puck. Chaput, Jared Bull, Marco Dano work up front for Todd Richards' squad. Here's Dano, stripped of the puck there by Dwyer, carried in on the right wing. Back checking is Chaput. It's steered aside by McElhaney. 13 shots for Carolina, 5 for the Blue Jackets. Ron Hainsey, far side, shot right on, stick save, rebound, scores. Boychuk.
Little confusion after that shot at Curtis McElhaney. Falls right on Boychuk's stick, and he makes a nice little play. Ron Hainsey takes the initial shot, and then it bounced out to Boychuk, and Erickson just couldn't rein him in. He had his stick there, but watch this. It comes off McElhaney right into the middle of the ice. Boychuk has Erickson on him, but he slips away, and he's got an open net there. 1-0 Carolina.
Second of the season for Boychuk. And from the drive. Little hit there on St. Denis. This is Sekera. Gets it ahead on that right wing. Wire hustles after it, but the Jackets are able to clear, and Sekera comes back. It's an icing call.
Columbus Blue Jackets hockey is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, the official insurance provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets.
And there's Nick Foligno, boy, and he's been a warrior. Taken off a few games ago in L.A. I spoke with him today, and I said, what is it, man? You look like you just want to go and grab this thing. He said, I'm just fed up of hearing the excuses of we have injuries and all this. We just want to win. He said, what a challenge with everyone out of the lineup. It'd be nice to get out there and win. And boy, you can see how motivated he is in his play of late.
Gibbons anticipating, sends it ahead, goes right after it, uses that speed, and then his hook could not get a shot away. Good effort by Gibbons. Gibbons heads to the bench for a well-deserved rest. Foligno flips a backhand for Skilling. Fights off the check of Eric Staal. Skilling, Calvert cruising. Up high, that's Tootin, rims it around the boards. Calvert will take it behind the net. Falk holds him at bay. Foligno walks out. Jack Johnson, traffic in front of Ward, and it sails wide of the net. Semet flips it up and out. Jackets play it as the Canes change up here on the fly. Calvert coming, right side. Falk defends. On the turnover, Semet, or excuse me, that is Riley Nash, my apologies. Now a shot from the wing by Gerby. Swept to the point by Lindholm, shot by Sekera, a shot and a goal. Nash cuts off the Sekera attempt from the point, and he beats McElhinney short side.
Well, Sekera had that shot pass faked. He was going far backside post, and McElhinney went with it, but Nash picks off that play and throws it back against the grain. You see there, he picks it off. He was going for the far winger on the left. Gerby. And what a play by Nash to pick that off and quickly spin and throw it on the net against the grain. And McElhinney fooled.
Nash's third goal, and he extends a point-scoring streak to 3 games with that goal. Sekera will pick up the primary assist. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left. Jackets stuck on 5 shots here. 16 for Carolina. 2-0. The score. Hurricanes lead. Second assist to Lindholm, who also extends a point-scoring streak with that assist. And that is his 5th point in the last 3 games.
Yeah, he's had quite a little run here, Lindholm. He's a high prospect. He was a high draft pick. I think 5th overall.
2013.
Yeah.
Same draft as the Jackets had 3 first-round picks.
That's right.
2 of them are in the lineup here tonight.
That's right. Dano is one of them.
Wenberg the other.
Is out there.
Backhanded. Jackets unable to get it to the net. Canes defend in front of their goaltender, Ward.
They're both out there from that draft. Jackets got to get down there, Jeff, and get more shots at Ward, traffic, rebound, stuff we talk about all the time.
Wenberg circling the net. Marco Dano plays it along the boards. Dano cross-check there, and there should be a penalty, and there will be.
That's not from that play. It's from an earlier play.
Well, they should have 2 penalties then.
Carolina, number 49, 2 minutes for hooking.
You don't often see that. Sometimes when you see the referee's arm in the air,
right.
you just start going wild.
Take a little extra liberty? Is that spoken to a man from experience? Or
well, maybe. Good opportunity to break a stick. When the referee's arm is in the air.
Well, at least you're honest.
Well, Victor Rask is going to sit. End of a period here for the Jackets. It's a full 2 minutes left in the period. Be a good way to go into the locker room here with a power play goal. You see Calvert's getting out there on the right side with Scotty Hartnell in the box for fighting. He's out there with Johansson and Atkinson.
This penalty will take the entire remaining time on the clock here in the opening period.
And how about Wenberg getting to play the point on the power play too?
You'd like to see him rewarded here, especially gaining a little more confidence here. And feeling a lot better about himself. And, of course, the coach is showing that confidence as well by putting him out there on the point in the power play. Well, Wenberg, top of the circle, threads the needle. Atkinson can't get a shot away. Here's an attempt by Atkinson, and it's deflected out of play.
You talk about the coach having confidence in Wenberg. He was asked about it this morning, Todd Richards, because we saw Wenberg practicing in this position as we look at this attempt here by Atkinson. And the coach said, Wenberg's a smart kid. He's a heady player is the term he used. And that's why he gets rewarded with that position on the power play on the point, which is a pretty pivotal position. Good on the young man.
We talked about the defensive responsibilities, and there are some even though you're on a power play.
Oh, yeah. You're the last line before the goalie.
A minute, 17 left. The Jackets power play. Still looking to register a shot for the first time in several minutes.
And that position is one we usually see taken by James Wisniewski, who's obviously out for a little bit.
Johansson, rebound, scores! Power play goal! Who else but Nick Foligno?
Great heads-up play by Ryan Johansson down the left side. Cam Ward flicked the pad out. You're going to see it here in a minute. It's a second effort play. Good play on Foligno. He starts it, but Ryan Johansson with that little move gets it off of Ward, and that's just an open net. Half a net, I'll say. Well, Nick Foligno makes no mistake. That's got to feel good for that man.
5th goal of the season, 3rd power play goal. How about this, Jody? That power play goal gives the Jackets power play goals in 7 consecutive games. Now one off the franchise record of 8, set way back in 2002. And what about the lift it gives the hockey club here?
That's a beautiful way to go into the locker room. Or finish a period. They still got a little bit of time here. And they just had a nice opportunity with Jack Johnson's shot.
That goal is huge. As we mentioned, 7th consecutive game, the Jackets have found the back of the net on a power play. And despite being outshot, oh, nice save by McElhaney. He'll hold on. Johansson, the primary assist. Savard picks up the 2nd assist. And for Foligno, that is his 90th goal of his NHL career.
See Jack Johnson there. He thinks his winger is on the wall. Tries to find the Blue Jacket player in the middle. Little turnover. Jay McLennan stepped into a shot. McElhaney had to be sharp there. Made a nice save.
From the drop, Gleason lets one fly. Down is McElhaney, and he will cover up. 17.1 seconds remain. 19th shot directed at the Jackets net by Carolina.
That's a lot of rubber for Curtis McElhaney, but I bet you that's exactly what he wanted coming in here tonight. Get in there, feel the puck, get some rhythm, roll your sleeves up, get to work. Just like you, Jeff, rolling your sleeves up over there.
I'm ready. I'd like to call a few more goals here tonight. Hartnell out of the penalty box, having served his major penalty. Final seconds tick off here. Skilly tried to make the play. Frederick St. Denis cross ice, and there's the horn to end period number 1. But the Jackets get that all-important goal on the power play late. And after 20 minutes of play, Carolina, who sprinted to a 2-0 lead, see the Jackets come up with that power play goal with a little over a minute left. We're 2-1 after 1. Set for second period play. Our IGS Energy performers prior to the drop of the puck, the 3 goal scorers, Jody.
All 3 goals were not direct shots on net. 2 were rebounds. Wojciech and Foligno were rebounds. Riley Nash intercepted a shot pass, put it in the back of the net. Jackets got to pay attention to that, get rebounds, change direction, find a way to get in the offensive zone, spend more time.
Foligno with his 5th. The Jackets goal on the power play. That was his 3rd power play goal, which ties him for the team lead. In that regard, Belmore pressured there by Matt Calvert. Off the point, and a good hit there by Savard in the corner. Calvert
pitched
pressure.
down there on, was that Gerby hit? That was a big hit by Savard. Big play.
Puck kept in? No, they say that Frederick St. Denis was unable to keep it in at the left point.
St. Denis had a good try to keep that in, and here's a look at the play a little earlier. Play behind the net. It's a little puck battle there as it comes up the wall. St. Denis tried to keep that in, couldn't do it. Face off at the blue line.
Johansson line out there. Falk moves to the far side for Sekera. Head up, Sekera sends it to center. Salusti unable to cradle that puck, and it goes off Atkinson up out of the Columbus bench. And Forsberg makes the stop.
Forsberg, how about Forsberg? I asked him today, are you related to Peter Forsberg? I mean, he's probably got to get that question a lot, don't you think?
Wow, that's like Smith here in the U.S.
No, but he laughed. He said, no, but I played for the team that he was the assistant general manager for.
Frölunda?
Frölunda. And our Forsberg is from just 10 miles from Frölunda. So it's like, yeah, he was tickled pink to talk about it and say that, no, he played for Peter, and he's a great guy. He said when he was making his comeback in Frölunda, Peter is the assistant general manager. When Peter was making that comeback,
right,
he was taking shots on Anton, and imagine that.
Got to be a thrill.
Yeah, he said that Peter had a bunch of skates he was trying on. He had the foot problem, but he is not related to Peter Forsberg. That's the bottom of really the reason of the story.
And now
you had to ask him, right?
The rest of the story. Yeah, hey, good question.
Well, Tim Erickson laughed. He was sitting next to me, and he said, we call him Peter, or Peter's nickname is Fopa, so we call him Fopa.
Backhanded by Foligno, and Falk doing a little caretaking in front of Ward. Skilly finishes the check. Pass here on the right wing. Boychuk gets it ahead. Terry spins and turns, drops it back. Harrison will let one fly, and it was deflected off the stick of Gibbons and wide. Here comes Skilly down the right wing to center. He's got Foligno with him. Gibbons races down the left side. Chip to the corner behind the net. Foligno will attempt to play it. Get some help there from Gibbons. Foligno for Gibbons, scooped up by the Canes, and they dump it back to the Jackets line. Quick transition. Jackets try to move into the offensive zone. Here's Dalton Prout. Prout will flip a backhand in, enabling the Jackets to get fresh legs on.
Yeah, important change here. Good job by Dalton Prout. Jackets are now in a controlled forecheck situation here, where kind of patiently waiting for the guy to come out behind the net.
Bold with a good open ice hit. McElhinney alertly sends to Savard. Right wing Jared Bull steps to center. Bull chipping it by Ron Hainsey. Jackets, Dano finishes a check behind the net.
That was a good chip by Jared Bull. Cam Ward didn't come out to play. It kept it away from the goalie. That allowed Dano to get in there and put some pressure on the forecheck.
Jackets are going to lay the body on here if this second period, early second, is any indication. Finish your checks.
Yeah.
McElhinney settles it down there for David Savard, alertly so. Pass for Jenner. Fails to click. Left wing feed. This is Dano with Wenberg, who sprints in. Wenberg trying to walk away from Hainsey. Good work by the youngster. Sweeps a backhand to the point. Tooten throws it behind the net. Jenner looking to walk out. On for Wenberg. Wenberg keeps those feet moving. Wraparound attempt. And Jenner couldn't get a stick on it. I'll tell you what, Wenberg looks a lot more comfortable, Jody.
He looks more comfortable every shift, and that was a good battle shift down low for him, protecting the puck. It shows a better or a higher comfort level out of the young rookie.
Matt Calvert hustles after. Calvert walks out. Calvert fires towards the net. Wenberg couldn't get a stick on it. Backhanded. Out to center. Gerby stood up, gets away from Tooten. Gerby around the net, throws it in front. Lindholm to the point. Sekera, quick shot, stick save. Rebound, Wenberg up. They're saying Falk was able to keep it in. He had to reach back for it. The linesman right there made the call. That was Scott Cherry. Sekera throws it to the point. Wires crossed, and the Carolina Hurricanes forced to come back into their own zone as we approach the 5-minute mark of period number 2. Continuous action here at Nationwide. Jackets with a steal. And Johansson turns it over.
Johansson looked to pass instead of shooting. He got picked off by Tulowitzki.
Here's Semin. Semin, one-timer stall, and he rips it high and wide of the net. Ryan Johansson, right wing to center. Hartnell sprints into the zone. He'll play to the corner. Harrison, those two have already had a battle here tonight. Johansson away from Eric Stahl. On in front. And unable to get a stick on it was Johansson, who was camped right in front of Ward. Rolling puck settled down there by Harrison. Paired with Gleason. On for Gleason. In the right corner. A pass at the line. Rask unable to get anywhere. Jackets on the turnover. Look to lead Skilly. Skilly trying to walk by Gleason. Swept by Ward to the corner. And play is whistled down.
Too many men on the ice.
And I believe we're going to see the Jackets with another power play.
Carolina penalty, a bench minor, too many men on the ice.
So the Jackets 1 for 1. We'll go back to the power play with that bench minor.
Okay, let's take a look at this here. Too many men on the ice. We're going to count them from right to left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That, my friend, is too many. Good advantage for the Jackets here. The last goal, their only goal, as you mentioned, was on the power play. So.
And you could count. I'm impressed.
You like that? From right to left. You were going to go from left to right. See? Threw a little wrench in your system there.
Good work. Jack Johnson turned around on the play. Here's Falk. Rims it around the boards. Kept in there by Foligno. Matt Calvert fans on that first attempt. Chopped to the wall. Foligno steps up. Drops a pass here. Alertly so for Gibbons. On for Foligno. Foligno, Gibbons into the slot. Calvert fires it wide. Gibbons, and play called. What are they going to call here?
Glove pass. I think Boone Jenner got that up. Got his hand on it up in his midsection. Put it down the ice, and then Gibbons took a whack at it. Or was that Calvert? And Gibbons had it in his hand. Or sorry, Jenner had it in his hand right here. Hopefully his good hand. And there's Calvert gathers it in. It happens so quick. Watch this. He couldn't get a grasp on it. And then Calvert reels it in and takes a shot. Good get by the refs on that one. Not good for the Jackets, but I mean that's the rule. Not to checking the clock.
Yeah, the penalty time still at 1:56, so we're going to get a bit of a delay here as they reset it now to 1:32. Everybody satisfied, and now the face-off outside the zone as you get a look at Todd Richard. Looking on intently. The draw won by the Canes, and Hainsey sends it into Jackets territory. Less than 14 minutes left here in the second period. Jackets with 3 shots here in the second. They went a lengthy bit of time without a shot on goal at Ward in the first period.
You talk about shots on goal, you know, at the end of a period, the coach has his group together for 20 minutes. The leaders have the group in there to talk about things, refresh ideas, settle guys down, and focus on certain things. And obviously that's one of the things they want to focus on is getting the puck to the net.
Now we're 17 seconds from the 7-minute mark, and the Canes have not registered a shot on goal here in the second. Falk on the turnover. Moves into the zone, gets by the defense, and McElhaney makes the stop, but the puck trickles in, and that is a shorthanded goal, the first one the Jackets have allowed, and the Canes again lead by 2. McElhaney played it off the goal stick, and in to the net it went. Falk on the steal, unassisted.
Boy, how about the speed on Falk? He came out of nowhere here, beat Wenberg up the ice. He's on his backhand. That just rolls over McElhaney as he gets it on the stick. Over McElhaney's shoulder. He's not happy about that, Curtis.
Falk with his first goal of the season. It will be unassisted.
Jackets still in the power play here. Sorry, Jack.
24 seconds left. David Savard on for Gibbons. Jenner waits at the goal line at Tim Erickson, whose lone goal scored on the power play. He moves in, fires a shot that's deflected off Jenner and out of play.
You know, it's interesting. Todd Richards went right back to this unit, this Gibbons, Jenner, Foligno unit. After that other unit got scored on, he immediately threw these guys out there. This line has some chemistry too. It's usually Skilly out there with Foligno and Gibbons, but for this power play, Jenner's in front of the net. Just a good blue-collar, hard-working power play here. Maybe Todd sending a message to the other unit.
From the faceoff, Tim Erickson, waning seconds of the power play. Savard floats one in. It went off the stick of Jenner and out of play.
And the other thing about that other unit, Wenberg was on the point there. So Fox saw that. The forward on the point, you're playing that defensive position, and you mentioned that earlier. That's an important place to play.
Pretty good example of it right there. And give Falk all the credit because he just blew away.
Great speed, obviously.
He blew away from the two of the Jackets. And McElhinney made the stop off the goal stick, but the puck trickled behind him. And the Kings are back at full strength. Gibbons walks to the net. And again, the Jackets guilty of trying to make that extra pass instead of shooting first. Got to have that shoot first mentality.
Yeah, shoot first, get the rebound.
That's how the Jackets scored their goal here, and Foligno driven to the ice in the paint on top of Cam Ward. We'll be back.
Welcome back to Nationwide Arena, where Carolina has a 3-1 lead on the homestanding Jackets. The Blue Jackets Fan Express is back and ready to bring your group to the Arena District. For information and reservations, call the Blue Jackets at 614-246-PUCK. Tonight, fans from West After School Center in Lancaster came to Nationwide to root the Jackets on to victory.
Face-off will come to Cam Ward's left. 12 minutes, 13 seconds left here in the second period. Jackets, Johansson steps into the circle here against Eric Stahl, who wins the draw. Sekera rims it around the wall. The puck chip up and out. Gervie racing after it. Jack Johnson will flip to the far side. Left wing, Hartnell trying to thread the needle there for Johansson. Hartnell racing after it. Jack Johnson, Fedor Tinton paired on the Jackets' blue line. Johnson away from Eric Stahl. Stahl hustles to it. Stick breaks. Jack Johnson on to Johansson at center. Away from Gervie. Johansson, right wing pass. Atkinson unable to hold the line.
Jackets got to be careful here not to get frustrated.
Before the Jackets hit the ice, get ready to join the battle on Blue Jackets Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Blue Jackets Live is brought to you by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers.
Ryan Johansson just made a play at the blue line there. Offside was the call. They were coming up with a little bit of steam. But they got to be careful here because this line is they're going to be counted on to get things going here tonight for the Jackets. They just got to stay with their game and not get frustrated.
How do you guard against that frustration?
Well, just got to stay focused and believe in your line and your group that's going out there and really know that the rest of the guys are watching you.
Puck turned over. Save McElhinney. Jackets guilty of turnovers, and they're a glaring turnover in front of McElhinney. Terry drops it back to the point. Redirected into the zone. Carolina has won 9 of the 10 draws here this period. That gives them an advantage right off the bat.
That's right. That's the first one-on-one battle. And that's something the coach will look at right away is that stat. How are we doing on faceoffs?
Now, of course, the Jackets are missing. Oh, look at this. Riley Nash moves in. The Jackets are going to be penalized here. Out steps Ward. He's got that long skate to the bench on the far side, and a tripping penalty upcoming. Well, they'll call it hooking nonetheless. Carolina's going back to the power play.
Riley Nash made a nice move. And in desperation, David Savard had to hook him there. We'll take a look at it here. The Blue Jackets are definitely
number 58, 2 minutes hooking.
Definitely on their heels. And here you see it's desperation. Erickson throws the stick. Savard makes sure he locks him up.
Jody, Carolina's won 24 of the 35 draws here. And again, not to make excuses, but when you're missing a Mark Leicester and a Dubinsky, not to mention Artem Anisimov, that's your three top centers.
No question about that. But I like what Hartsburg said in the first in the bench interview. They got energy off 2 of their penalty kills. They got to focus on this now. There's half a hockey game left. Get this kill and go to work.
Eric Stahl sends it to the line. Active stick there of Fedor Tutin. Turning around the Carolina forward. Loose puck played there. Matt Calvert on to Jack Johnson. Carolina get it back. Wheel it up high. Far circle. Ripped high and wide of the net. Skinner had it briefly. Played there by Matt Calvert. Skinner goes for a tumble. Wenberg, who had a broken stick, is able to make it back to the bench and then kick it ahead.
Nice little footwork there by Wenberg to stay with that. He kind of brushed it off. Calvert had thrown the puck, didn't know he didn't have a stick, but stuck with it, made sure he got it deep with his little soccer move.
A little more, now a little less than a minute remaining in the Carolina power play. Terry at the point. On to Gerby. Active stick of Atkinson, can't settle it down. Now Gerby hangs on, fires in front. Off Nash, covered up by McElhaney.
Let's take a look at the penalty kill, and this is where you can get energy. It's simple play. Look how tight the guys are. 4 of them, they're working together in a box. Good support by Calvert here, and that's what it's all about. That's really what the whole game is about. Quick, close support. Now, when you get the puck on your stick, you want to make sure it gets out over the line. You want to clear it the whole way. They weren't able to do that. We know Matt Calvert's just coming back from an injury. He probably still has a little effects from his hand there, but good job by them to work as a 4-man unit for that first part of the penalty kill.
Nash to the goal line for Gerby. Back for Nash. Gerby walking out. Lindholm spins, turns, hangs on, shows patience. Now back to the point for Terry. Far side Sekera. He'll let one fly, and it's off the glass.
That was a good stick by Michael Chaput. That's why it went off the glass. Good hard work. Even Ryan Johansson with the forwards there, causing pressure. And good for Chaput to close that area and make sure he got his stick in the way.
Final seconds in the power play. Sekera carries in. Rims it around the wall. Standing is Savard at the penalty bench. Boychuk. Back at the point, Harrison. Outsteps Savard. Jackets 3 for 3 on the kill. Save. Rebound. And McElhaney gets the mid on it. And will hold on. 8:31 left. Carolina 3. Columbus 1.
Nationwide just coming off a penalty kill. How do you transfer that energy from a penalty kill to the other end of the ice and get some more opportunities, Brad?
Well, we just hope it gives us some energy. Obviously, the first half of this game is nowhere near good enough for our group. So they know that, and maybe this will give us a spark.
And it is a matter of creating those opportunities and then making advantage of them. We've talked about that for the last several games.
Comes down to hunger. We got to want it more than that, but right now they're outskating us.
Well, there you go. Hunger comes down to wanting it more, and sounds like the coaching staff wants to see a lot more out of this group for this second half of the game.
Well, they expected the energy to be there. Seeing the return of both Boone Jenner and Matt Calvert.
Well, the energy seems to be there, but it just seems like they're chasing the game a bit. They're not making the passes and carrying the play up the zone. They're chasing turnovers, not causing turnovers. You want to be initiating in all those areas, and right now they're kind of on their heels. There's a lot of hockey left. Don't get me wrong, and they know they can do it. But they've got to get in there and start playing that simplified game from the goaltender all the way down the ice.
And your point well taken. The first battle is winning the faceoffs, and they've been beaten badly in that department as well.
Yeah, and that's something they can change.
Tutin. Off the boards. Gibbons unable to play it. Cam Ward will. And sweeps the backhand for Sekera. Rimmed around the wall. It gets away on that right side from Semin. Semin remaining with Talusti and Eric Stahl here after being a healthy scratch in each of the previous 2 games. 7 minutes, 40 seconds left here in period number 2. Tutin. Crowd, and a pretty good crowd, a healthy crowd on hand for this one. Try to encourage the Jackets and get them back in this one. Next goal will be awfully important. Johansson upended. Hammered back in by Savard, and Johansson hustles off.
He made a nice play. Tried to get it around Ron Hainsey, but collided with him.
Belmore on for Hainsey. Hainsey sends it to center, steered ahead by Lindholm. McElhinney retreats to the net. Up high, Hainsey. Skilly steps into him. Nash chips it backhand for Lindholm. Gerby lurking. Nash on the half court. To the point, Hainsey on to Belmore. Belmore purposely sends it wide of the net. McElhinney wisely at the side will cover up.
Experience a Blue Jackets game in style with Nationwide Arena Luxury Suites. Entertaining in a suite at a Blue Jackets game means the finest in personalized service, comfortable seating, ample meeting space, and privacy. For more information, contact a Blue Jackets Group event specialist at 614-246-PUCK or visit BlueJackets.com.
As we mentioned, the faceoffs predominantly won here by Carolina, and that is up to the moment a 15 face-off win advantage for Carolina, and they just made it 16 with that draw, but the puck sails back into Hurricane territory.
Well, let's look at the centerman. Johansson, obviously a natural centerman. Foligno is just in there for the first few games. Wenberg is a rookie. Chaput is a rookie. They've done well, but it's still no excuse. Boone Jenner coming back from the hand injury. He's playing the wing tonight. Can't really depend on him to take too many draws. But they have got to start winning those battles. And it's not just the centerman. It's the wingers helping out in those 50-50 pucks.
Great point. How many times have we heard from coaches?
Got to be engaged, all forwards.
3-on-2. Canes into the offensive zone. Centering feed. Touch pass there. Terry to Boychuk. But it failed to click. Chaput. Knocked away. Tootin will step up to the offensive blue line. Here's Atkinson. Cam Atkinson loses the puck. Jackets guilty of turnovers tonight. Uncharacteristic of this hockey club.
Yeah, it's usually a simple, straightforward game. They just look a little out of sync. And those turnovers, I mean, you can't do it, especially with a team like Carolina, who hasn't had a success in October, but November 2 wins, and they credit it to speed and transition.
We've seen that speed here tonight, and it's resulted in a couple of their goals. Good work by Jenner. In front, it goes off the skate of Hartnell.
Todd Richards is mixing up his lines quite a bit.
Little stick swinging there. Hartnell takes exception. Skinner on Jenner.
Now, you mentioned a good play by Jenner behind the net. This is what he brings. Billy Davidge talked about it in the open. Hard work, bringing it to the net. They were lucky to get a stick on that puck.
Hartnell attempted to do. Hartnell tried to kick it from a skate to a stick and just missed.
And Dwyer was lucky to get his stick on it. Hartnell just missed that, as you said. More of that. Off the wall to the net. They got to start in their own end, though, getting out of there clean. And as you, Jeff, as you said, turnovers. Got to limit those. Can't feed the Carolina Hurricanes, who are here on a road game, trying to play simple hockey. The Jackets have got to now play that style.
They have outshot the Jackets now 26-12. Jackets with 4 shots in this period. They had 8 the first. And we're seeing Johansson out here with Foligno and Gibbons. Foligno moving to the wing. Jackets win a battle. They send it back to the point. Unable to keep it in with Savard. Just out of sync.
Yeah, out of sync.
In all regards.
And that kills the rhythm of that offensive zone work the forwards are doing. We've seen rolling pucks at the line. We've just seen miscommunication. Just got to get that going.
Long lead pass here from Matt Calvert. Calvert knocked off the puck. Continues to battle. Takes it right back from Belmore. Good work.
Great second effort work there by Matt Calvert.
Falk tried to clear. Good work by Calvert again. On to Foligno. Late in the shift for him. Jack Johnson forced to go to the backhand. Stepping up is Belmore. This time he's able to clear the zone. Tootin settles it down on that left wing. Chipped ahead by Calvert. Ward out of the net to play. Coming quickly is Wenberg. Skilly finishes a check. And there's Jack Johnson. Upended. Belmore now. chips a backhand out of the zone. A second effort by Belmore. Sends it deep into Jackets territory. Erickson. On for Jack Johnson. Right side. Skilling hustles in. On the off wing, the right-handed shooting forward. Circles the net. Sends it back to Savard through a crowd. Deflected off his stick. Calvert could not get to it with Ward pinned to that far side.
That whole play was set up with Jack Skilly's speed down the right side.
Kirby lets one fly wide of the net. Lindholm off the side of the net. Nash looking for Lindholm. Fought off by Erickson. Jackets send it up, but not out. Evidently it was. The linesman calls it. Carolina argue, but to no avail. 3:11 left. It's 3-1.
3 minutes left to play here in the second period at Nationwide. Jackets down 3-1. Dave Metzold along with Jeff Rimmer and Jody Shelley. Now tonight on Fox Sports Live. Tune in and we'll have you covered for full highlights from around the NBA and the NHL. We're on location with Ohio State and Michigan State before their huge Big Ten matchup. And will Adrian Peterson be back on an NFL field this season? Watch Fox Sports Live tonight on Fox Sports 1.
There's Boone Jenner. Jeff taking a face-off here tonight. This wasn't expected.
And he wins it.
Hand problem, and he wins it.
And Jenner, how about this? The centering. Atkinson and Hartnell. So for the first time, Hartnell and Johansson separated. Atkinson having moved back to the line when Foligno was out for that Ottawa game. Belmore with Hartnell coming quickly. Hartnell in front, Atkinson, and he rips it wide. A golden opportunity for the Jackets to cut the lead. Great effort there by Hartnell.
Good shot. Good job by Hartnell. Atkinson had that puck in the middle. He might have rushed it a little bit, but got off a good quick shot. I'm not sure if Ward got that or not. Let's take a look and see. Beautiful pass out front. Looked like Ward caught a piece of it, didn't it, Jeff? Yeah.
Yeah, he did. And I think the defenseman in front got a piece of it as well with that stick. Nonetheless, the Jackets from the draw move into the offensive zone. Gibbons out there with Foligno and Johansson again. Two Canes went down. Jackets walk to the front of the net, but are unable to tuck it home.
I think Foligno had something to do with those guys going down into the boards there. Create a little space with a push-off, and they went into a heap. Gleason was really slow getting up, and he's a big, strong boy. You can see there.
Yeah, he's still in some difficulty. Johansson trying to flip it in front. Gleason will play it. And he can't move to the bench. And again, the benches are on that far side. And no doubt he'd like to get back to that Carolina bench. And now it will, as the puck is fired into Jackets territory. A little more than 90 seconds left here in period number 2. One goal was scored, that by Falk. Another shorthanded variety to restore a 2-goal lead for Carolina. Jackets looking again here as Denis sends it wide to cut the deficit late in this second period. Jared Bull. Bull drops it back. St. Denis moves in. And that shot is blocked.
That was a good heads-up play by Jared Bull to find St. Denis on the far side.
Dano looking for it. Knocked down there by McClement. Dwyer in the final minute of play. Walks in. Deals it on the wing. Skinner turned around on the play there by St. Denis. Seeing all kinds of ice time in his Blue Jackets debut. Dalton Prout hasn't seen the ice much here in the second.
No, we haven't seen much of Dalton Prout.
Icing the call. There is Dalton Prout looking up at the clock. You see the shots on goal, and of course the 2-goal deficit for the Jackets here.
And I thought Dalton had a good start. He is -2, but hopefully we see him back out there. I like his physical play.
And the opposition comes down, Jody. They've got to keep their head up when they see Dalton Prout.
Yeah, they do.
Manning that right side.
definitely.
We get an icing call here. And another face-off in Columbus territory. 28.7 seconds remain.
And he works so hard, old Dalton Prout there. He's just waiting to get back out there. As the face-off comes down to the left of Curtis McElhaney.
We've got Prout with 5 shifts here in the second. None of late. Sekera up high. Nash gets it back. Looks to that left side. Sekera the backhand, the save. And down covering up the rebound is McElhaney.
You're going to see a change here. Todd Richards going to switch it up.
Jackets stuck on 4 shots here in the second. 2-period total with 10.4 ticks of the clock left. A total of 12 shots. Carolina had 8 shots here in the second period after 19 in the first. Matt Calvert along the wall. Puck squirts free, and that'll do it. Second period. 1 goal. The shorthanded, unassisted effort by Falk. And Carolina lead by 2 after 40 minutes of play. Jackets file out. Some catch-up ahead in the third. It's a 2-goal lead for Carolina, the first of the home-and-home series. Teams have returned to the ice moments away from the start of period number 3. And we might add, as Jody rightfully points out, the Jackets a little late in coming out. Perhaps a little extra players meeting.
I would say it's coaches holding that meeting. Reflect, reset, and get ready for a heck of a third, because the Jackets are in this if they get back on their game. And you know, the fear is when you get players back, guys get away and take a deep breath and be like, oh, this is going to be easier tonight than it was last night. Can't have that. Got to get out here tonight, especially this third period. Put it together and get back in this game.
Jackets have been beaten almost by a 2-1 margin in faceoffs, 30-16. They've been beaten on the scoreboard. They have been beaten in the shot department, 28-12, and looking to reverse things here in the third. From the draw, David Savard camped behind McElhaney. What's the MO here? Just come out here and win this third period?
That's it. That's what you got to start with. I mean, you really just want them to get on their game. Todd and his staff put together a plan, and the Jackets haven't done it much. Simple plays out of your zone, get to the neutral zone, and quit messing around the puck and causing turnovers. Put it on Ward, and then get after him.
That comes after, in the words of Todd Richards, they had one of their best practices of the year yesterday.
Well, there you go.
I guess practice doesn't necessarily mean anything.
You know what you're talking about.
Sekera. Got to do it in the game. Plain and simple. Here comes Atkinson. Fires a shot. That's deflected off Sekera's stick and wide. Sekera defending. Atkinson trying to sweep it to the point. Active stick there by Semin to clear. Now he carries in offside the call. Well, time for tonight's AT&T Rewind. For that, we head to Washington, the nation's capital, where the Capitals are hosting the Flames, who lead 2-1 in the second period, Jody.
They were leading until Marcus Johansson, watch this play right here, off the end boards, makes it 2-2. That was a strange one. And then how about Ward? Joel Ward from that tough angle. You see him middle of the screen there. He's got the spotlight on him right now. Just throws it at the net. He looks surprised as anyone that he scored that goal.
McElhaney fielded the fly, if you will, from the right point, and wisely held on. The faceoff will come to his left. Rask steps in. He's got Terry on the left, Boychuk on the right.
Now Wenberg out there with Calvert and Skilly. Todd Richards really mixing things up here.
Looking for some type of positive here. Calvert with the steal, walks in, shoots. Oh, Ward able to get a piece of it. Great lateral movement there by Calvert right across the blue paint, but he could not tuck it home.
Great speed.
And it was the speed that created that opportunity for sure. Matt Calvert missing 4 games back. He said he'd have the legs going tonight. Wanting to make an impact. He wants that puck right now. Jackets off the wall. There was Jenner. Knocked away. Carolina thwarted at the offensive blue line. Dalton Prout out there with Savard now. Savard takes a rest. Skilly fires one that Ward turns aside. Nice save at the line there by Hartnell. Belmore gets it back, and it's walked out of the zone. Hartnell picks up the new stick. Jackets move up. This is Skillet. Skillet first across the line. Shovels a backhand ahead. It goes off the broken stick of Hartnell. And cleared out. There'll be a discussion here. A discussion amongst the officials, and perhaps a delay of game penalty coming.
It will. Let's take a look at the last chance for Columbus. Talked about Calvert. Look, he got the puck right in the blue paint. He just couldn't pull the trigger. Tiptoes right in there. Oh, Ward got a stick on that. Take a look at the overhead here. As they announce a penalty in here.
Delay again.
It's the back end of his stick on the puck. Yeah, Carolina cleared the puck out of the building. They just announced a power play. Loud ovation from the crowd. Nice opportunity early in the third period here for the Jackets.
The officials converged as you looked at that replay at home and ultimately decided Jackets lobbying for it. It was Hartnell who had the loudest voice there. And the end result, the Jackets get the power play. And up to the moment here as the Jackets begin the power play, let's check out tonight's AEP power play summary. Jackets are 1 for 2. They did give up a shorthanded goal, and they've kept Carolina off the score sheet.
Yeah, and they got Nick Foligno out there on the point. You just take a good look at him here. He's talking to Ryan Johansson, who's looking to win the faceoff back to him. He doesn't do it, but lots of good communication off the faceoff with Nick Foligno and Johansson.
And it's 50 left. And the penalty to Belmore or delay a game. Jackets have Foligno. Camp behind the net. Foligno, Jack Johnson are on the points. Atkinson, the trailer. Dishes here to Johansson. First across the line. Knocked away from him. Gets it right back. Johansson sets up on that half wall. Atkinson. A walk to the goal line. Takes it. Atkinson trying to throw it in front. Active stick there of Ward. Wisely, he put the paddle down and was able to knock the intended pass into the slot away.
Cam Atkinson, you look at him there. He gets the puck from Ryan Johansson at the goal line. It looks like he's got a little room to step out there. He doesn't. Tries to make a little pass. Cam Ward alertly knocks it away and then covers it up.
Foligno, Jack Johnson. Johansson wins the draw. Johansson tried to feed Jack Johnson for that quick shot, but that too was blocked. Now Hartnell looking to cycle up. Gleason defends. Jack Johnson off the point. Jackets battle in the corner. Atkinson on here to Hartnell. Up high for Foligno. Foligno backhands. No, the zone is cleared as it went off the leg of McClement. Foligno, though, recovers and walks into the zone. Foligno to the net. Foligno across that goal mouth. Atkinson to play it back here to Tim Eriksson. Eriksson for Johansson. Johansson, Eriksson. Hartnell sets the screen in front of Ward. Johansson fires. Atkinson. Off a stick. Foligno to the point. Eriksson. Back for Foligno. Less than 30 seconds left in the power play. Foligno, the shot is blocked. He has the Lone Jackets goal on the power play in the first period. It came late. Oh, boy. Almost depositing McClement in his own bench. And little extra shove there at Foligno as the Jackets dump it deep. Final 12 seconds. Puck sent right in on McElhinney. Nick Foligno out there almost for the entire power play, Jody.
Yeah, he was on defense. He was playing the point of the power play. And at one point there, he just said, forget it. I'm taking this puck and going at the net. Created a nice opportunity.
Jenner had it taken away. Riley Nash ridden off there by Gibbons. And they're going to call a penalty.
Well, he got ridden directly into the turnbuckle right in front of Anton Forsberg. Remember a few years ago, Chara did it in Montreal, and they since changed the
Columbus
class.
penalty number 23, 2 minutes interference.
Interference, they're calling it. Little extra shove at the end of the hit. They've rounded the glass off. Watch this. First hit, little extra. Riley Nash meets that curved glass.
And that was Pacioretty that was hit by Chara.
That's right.
And scary situation. And the league quickly adopted. Credit to the National Hockey League. They quickly adopted that glass angle so that players moving forward would not necessarily be hit and hurt as Pacioretty was.
And there's actually springs in that glass. If you were to push on it, it actually moves in, which creates a little more, just a little more give. Not so much a turnbuckle.
Less than 15 minutes left here in the third period. A pass for Toulouse. Jackets break it up and will find a lane and dump it down.
So they come off a pretty good power play where they had some nice opportunities and onto a penalty kill where they have got no choice right now but to make sure they get the work done here.
This is the fourth power play for Carolina tonight. They're 0 for 3 with a total of 8 shots. 6 of them came on their first power play. Right circle, shot towards the net. Tootin steps in front of it, and play call. 58 seconds left.
Good play by the veteran Fedor Tootin, and we've said that a lot in the last few games here. You know, just those steady plays, and right there is a great one to get in the shot lane as Stahl is attempting to put the puck at the net. Blocks a shot, the puck goes out of play. Team's not able to change and get some fresh troops out there.
Terry at the point. Out of that half floor. Off the stick. Terry again. Looks to Gerby. Riley Nash. Shot by Sekera off the glove of McElady. Terry at the point. Offside. Fumbled it at the line. And offside the call.
Wow. Linesman was right on that, wasn't he?
Sure was.
Linesman was directly on the blue line where he's supposed to be. And watch this.
Ooh, that's a great catch. The width of the puck. And right call made.
Camera guys, too.
Sekera. On for Gerby. Rifled in. McElhinney settles it down. Tootin rims it around the boards. Sekera right point. Sekera had a career season a year ago. 44 points in the year, including 11 goals. He's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. Acquired prior to last season for Andrew McBain, and quite a steal for then GM Jim Rutherford, of course, is now in Pittsburgh.
That's right. That's right. When we went there last year, a lot of talk about Sekera as being that catalyst of the little offense they had, really.
Right. One of the lowest scoring teams in the National Hockey League last year.
Right, but he was definitely a bright spot.
There's Rod Brindamore. What a pro he was.
Oh, man. He's probably still one of the top shaped people in the building right now.
He was that way. He was that way. Did he ever leave the gym before a game?
No, I heard legendary stories about him and how he would start skating like a week after the season ended.
Really?
Yeah.
Tremendously shaped athlete. I guess he's got a daughter that's quite an athlete as well. Listening to the telecast the other night in Carolina. Daughter's a volleyball player. I guess looking at a college career ahead. Really? And a look at Nick Foligno, who's the subject of tonight's Big Lots Big Play.
And he made it 2-1. Carolina got up to two quick goals. The power play goal, it's pass off the pads, he called it, from Ryan Johansson. Something they work on. Nick Foligno was the beneficiary of that rebound right on his stick, and he made no mistake. And now 3-1 Carolina.
5th goal of the season, 3rd power play tally for Foligno. Boone Jenner will again take the draw here, flanked by Hartnell and Atkinson.
Lots of talk going on with Boone Jenner and Scott Hartnell on this faceoff. Boone's taking it. was telling Hartnell he was going to bring it backwards. He actually went forwards off that faceoff. Little trickery.
Oh, Jack Johnson hits Talusti. And he's going to get a penalty here. Delayed call. Ward unaware of it. And just now, as play continues, Talusti back up. He seems to be all right. I think the result more than the action, the reason for the penalty call. That was an open ice hit.
I don't think the puck was around, Jeff.
So you're going to call him for interference. Nonetheless, the delayed call. And 6 skaters are on for Carolina. Falk settles it down. On for Gerby. Right side, stick to side, high off the glass. Jack Johnson is there. Hartnell finishes the check. Ooh, there's a cross check in retaliation. Now Hartnell and Gerby. Gerby giving up some size there.
Well, Hartnell was getting underneath Simmons' skin the whole time in the defensive zone. And here's the hit. The puck, he just passed the puck, didn't he?
He had just passed it.
He just passed the puck. He was looking to where the puck was. He immediately grabs his head or puts his helmet back on.
Discussion going on here now amongst the officials. Jack Johnson.
Let's look at this real time here. Oh, this isn't real time. This is slow time.
Slow motion. Here comes the penalty.
2 minutes hit to the head. Well, Jack followed through on that hit. Caught a little air, it looked like. He got off his feet.
They're calling it a minor penalty for hit to the head at 7:31.
Big kill for the Jackets here, obviously. I thought maybe Semin was going to pick one up there, but got away with the cross check on Hartnell.
Sekera dump behind. Played here by Johansson onto Matt Calvert.
Calvert tried to throw that back to Johansson. It got picked off at the blue line.
Offside to call. A 2-minute minor. I don't know if I've ever heard a 2-minute minor for a hit to the head before, but
no, I don't
there
know.
is Rule 48-2. There is a 2-minute minor. I guess they really didn't deem it to be whatever, worthy of a major penalty, I guess is the bottom line. So they called it a 2-minute minor after the referees huddled at center.
That's right.
Well, it was a joint decision made by the officials on the ice. And as opposed to calling it a 5-minute major, they went for a 2-minute minor.
And the 4 refs huddle, you're getting 4 different vantage points. These guys are spread out, 2 on each side, front and behind.
I think it's great that the officials can converse amongst themselves and make the call that they deem to be proper.
No question. Yeah, they got to work together out there to get that right. And I thought they always did that, but I guess that's new.
Yeah.
As a player, I thought they taught when I thought they got together and figured it out together.
Now you see them huddle more than ever, and obviously, credit to the National Hockey League. They want to make the right call. And we'll get one more look at it here. We got a stoppage in play. 11:22. Initially, they were going to call interference. They changed it to a hit to the head. Fortunately, the player was able to get up under his own steam. Here.
Yeah, that was
Foligno on for Tootin. Talusti under his own power made his way out. And now a breakaway here for Jeff Skinner. Prout trying to get back. McElhaney makes the stop. He looks behind him. He's got that puck with 28 seconds left.
Puck was stuck in his equipment. We're going to take another look at this hit. And they're going to look at what the principal point of contact was. Now, as you go forwards and backwards there, you can see what pops up immediately is his helmet, his visor.
He's hitting him in the chest there. And so the first contact to me is the chest, not the head, but it rides up and hits him in the head. Ten minutes plus gone. Here's Harrison, drills it. Off a leg and wide. 10 seconds remain in the Jack Johnson penalty. Scramble in front. McElhaney is down, trying to get back up. Loose puck. Laid up high. Jack Johnson will step back on. Johnson. Got a stick on it. Still, Sekera sends it ahead. St. Denis. Left wing. Hartnell, right side. Atkinson can't play. Carried in. Terry trying to walk to the net. Players converge. Broken stick. That's McClements. And Dalton Prout able to edge it off the wall and back into Carolina territory.
And you know, the Jackets don't want to wait till the last 2 minutes to make a push here, Jeff. They're down by 2 goals with 10 minutes left, half a period. And they play it again on Friday.
Jackets will then come home for a Saturday game against Tampa. One of the class teams in the Eastern Conference, built by General Manager Steve Yzerman. Our first chance to see that team. And an interference penalty upcoming here. As we go to break. A shot off the post by Carolina while on the power play. And now, just like we had promised earlier in tonight's contest, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Jody, here's our Miller moment.
And Justin Falk, shorthanded for the Carolina Hurricanes. You see Jack Johnson tries to get it deep. Falk shows great speed. Beating Wemberg up the ice, throws it on McElhaney. It fools him and rolls up over his arm. And that is your Miller moment.
Parade to the penalty box continues. Erickson is off for interference. 6th power play for Carolina. They are 0 for 5 with 12 shots. 6 of those 12 came on their first power play. Going to the point. Wrist shot. Blocked in front. Rebound. McElhaney covers up. Gerby right there, making contact with McElhaney.
Well, Lindholm gets a beautiful opportunity on this initial shot. Watch him here. He comes into your screen, finds the puck. Goal scorers, they can find that puck. I tell you what, he just kind of popped in there, threw it on net. 2 goals against Arizona 2 nights ago. Goal and assist last game against the Los Angeles Kings in their win at home, Carolina.
Sekera the shot, blocked by Jack Johnson. Less than 90 seconds left in the power play. Less than 9 minutes left in regulation. Jackets with only 2 shots here in the 3rd period. They are now killing off their 3rd straight Carolina power play. Sekera fires. Shot blocked in the corner, went off Johansson, and he bunts it out of the air and sends it to center ice. 3 penalties in succession, 4:36, 7:31, and 10:27. Almost when 1 penalty is ended, they're right back into the box.
Yeah, they don't want to be working on their penalty kill when they're trying to mount a comeback. They've done a good job on it, obviously, tonight. They have to continue for another 35 seconds, but then get to work on Ward.
Off ice. Falk dumps in. Dalton Prout. Eric Staal. Try to play that puck. Staal. Drill. Down he goes. Dalton Prout, the loose puck. Hands it off to Atkinson. He'll send it between the 2 defenders. And Jody, we're seconds away from the Jackets doing exactly what they need to do, and as you just pointed out, and that is create some offense in front of Cam Ward.
Yeah, they got to get after him now. They got to stay out of the penalty box. That's obvious. They got to get in there and generate first and second chances. Nick Foligno's goal was off a rebound. Take note of that. And just get down there and get the work done.
Jackets send it towards the net. Jenner off that backboard. Hit from behind there. Harrison going after Jenner again, dropping him. Jenner taking a little bit of exception. A little extra liberty there from Harrison. Crowd looking for a penalty to be called. Here's an attempt there by Skilly. Scramble in front. Hartnell can't get to it. Jenner is down again.
Good job by Skilly to get that puck through and on net. And you know, the Jackets now, they get one goal. Carolina has led for so long by 2 that you're going to hear them, you're going to see them get on their heels if they can just get one goal here. Curtis McElhinney has done a nice job keeping these guys in the game. He's faced 34 shots.
After every Blue Jackets game, Fox Sports Ohio breaks down the game and talks to the players and coaches on Blue Jackets Live, presented by IGS Energy. IGS Energy, take control of your natural gas costs. Enroll at IGSenergy.com.
Do you think, Jody, the team individually trying to do too much on their own and not trying to play that team game we're used to seeing this team play?
Well, I think it definitely could be the case, and it can't happen. I mean, guys coming back want to do so much. Guys getting bigger roles want to do more and so much. And that was one of the keys tonight. Do your job.
Ward, gloves, and holes as we check out tonight's PNC game summary and decided advantage for Carolina tonight in many of the categories.
Yeah, the 2 top ones for sure. Block shots, hits. The Jackets have come out hitting the second half of the game. Shots on goal, scoring chances, face-offs belong to Carolina and the score so far this game.
Hainsey sends it around the dasher. Clement, or excuse me, that is Lindholm, 18. 16, 18 is cruising in front of Ward in the zone clear. Now McClement. Bellemore chips it back into Jackets territory. Puck play, Jack Johnson. On for Erickson. Johnson now headmans that puck at the offensive blue line, and it's right up into the glove again of Ward off Gibbons. 5:44 left. Still time for the Jackets to mount a comeback, but they've got to do it quickly. Look at the respective coaches. Peters, the rookie coach, and of course Todd Richards does not look too pleased. Jackets, as we mentioned, the start of a home-and-home series with Carolina will come to you from Raleigh Friday night, beginning at 6:30 with Brian Giesenslaw and Bill Davich and Blue Jackets Live, opening face-off shortly after 7, right here on Fox Sports Ohio.
Expect a push here from the Columbus Blue Jackets. And let's not forget, Carolina knows how to lose. They didn't win a game all of October.
Good save at the line there by Gibbons. Falk brings it around the wall. Dalton Trout behind the net for Foligno. Nick Foligno looks to walk out, tries to jab it up, and does! What an effort by Foligno! His second of the night! It's a one-goal hockey game!
Hold on, don't go anywhere. Nick Foligno behind the net. We've seen this from him. Little stop-up play, turns it up, takes it to the net. And how about a second effort? Gets it in there, and his buddy Gibbons is right in the crease with him. Watch this. First attempt, second attempt, puts it past Ward. They're back.
They're showing one more look at the Foligno goal on the magnificent high-definition board here, and it gets a standing ovation from the crowd as we get one more look at it. Individual effort. Foligno brings it out of the corner and then is able to send it past Ward, icing the call against the Jackets. It's a 3-2 hockey game. The face-off will come to the right of McElhinney. And Jody, you said it earlier, how big now are those stops by McElhinney keeping this now a one-goal hockey.
Huge. You talk about all those power plays that were killed, all the shots that were taken. Who's facing those shots?
Oh, look at this. Walking in. Jackets defend. Good work there by Skilly with the steal. Jackets move up ice. Skilly trying to make his way by Hainsey. Dalton Prout draws the lone assist. It was his play into the corner, enabling Foligno to walk out with that puck.
Watch this effort and this steal by Jack Skilly on that back check on Simmons. Simmons got the first move. Skilly, boy, that's a great play by him. Look at that little play by Simmons. Skilly gets right in there, steals the puck, and what does he do? Get the feet moving up the ice. Jackets have a face-off to Cam Ward's left, thanks to that play in the defensive zone by Jack Skilly.
Jenner wins the draw, then is dumped. Canes have cleared the zone. The Jackets now, with the crowd behind them, back in the game here. Edged out to center ice. Tootin on to Jenner. Ahead here. Hartnell sends it in on Ward. Jackets. Jenner rims it around the wall. Eriksson will step up. Throws it behind the net. 4 minutes, 16 seconds left. Long shot blocked in front. Atkinson tried to get to it as the Canes stepped up and blocked it. Meantime, Terry will one-hand it in deep. Fresh legs come on for Carolina. Ryan Johansson, right wing. Across the line. Settles the puck down. Gibbons in front. Oh, my! Ward got a piece of it as Gibbons threw it towards the net, and at the last possible moment, Ward was able to sweep it away.
He almost got his bounce there, didn't he?
Almost, but not good enough.
Great idea to throw it in that direction.
Gibbons has had another strong game.
Yeah, he has. Great encouragement. How about this crowd?
They've been quiet most of the night. Trying to encourage the Jackets here in the final minutes. Less than 3.5 left. Gloved by McElhaney. Watch this stop in front of Ward.
I think the defenseman jumped in here, Jeff, and helped him out. Gibbons has a puck on his backhand. Nice little throw in there. Oh, Harrison almost put it in, but then he took it out.
Yeah.
See that?
He
Might
almost
have been
deflected
sailing
it in.
wide, yeah, but nonetheless. Good job by the Jackets, and as you mentioned, Curtis McElhaney making those saves, the Jackets getting those penalty kills. They'll be able to hang around, and here they are. They're back to 1 goal. Didn't wait to start that push till the 2-minute mark that you see sometimes when teams are down by two goals late in the game.
Face off to McElhaney's right. Eric Stahl and Wenberg. Dumped back in by Hainsey. Wenberg. In the corner, Stahl from his knees tried to throw it in front alertly. Kept away by McElhaney. Jackets move it out of the zone. Hainsey will rifle it right back in. McElhaney teeing it up. David Savard. Canes keeping those shifts short. They're changing as a group. Here's Rask across the line on that turnover. Dumping it wide of the Jackets net. Wenberg turning away from Terry. Flips a backhand to hit here for Skilly. Skilly. On to Matt Calvert. Calvert tosses it behind the net. Picked up there by Sekera. Sekera chips it off the wall. Jack Johnson steps up. Unable to keep it in. Feder Tootin now. Away from Rask. Here's Cam Atkinson. Crowd chanting. Thrown in front. The attempt there. And Ward stacks the pads, covers up in the chest, and gets the glove on it. No further play. Hartnell looking to tie it up.
I don't know how Ward made that save. I don't think he saw the puck, but here, let's take a look at it. Good job getting the puck deep. Cam Atkinson digs it out. Hartnell's right there. No way he saw it. Lou Jenner was right in front. Cam Ward right in the armpit is where he caught that puck. Look at this little play by Atkinson. Picked it up the last minute, he did. Good job by Jenner to be right in there. He broke the stick off the faceoff. He's gone to get a new one.
Atkinson, Hartnell. He's got a new stick. Hartnell in the corner. Tosses it back behind the net. Sekera is there, chips it off the glass. Pinched along the wall there by Jack Johnson. Jenner moves it off into the corner. Hartnell knocked down by Sekera. Atkinson. Jenner. Puck turned over. Walk to the line. Center at least. And Lindholm sends it the rest of the way, avoiding an icing call. Less than 2 minutes left. Tootin in front of his own net. Hands it to Johansson here. Puck turned over by Johansson. Boychuk denied. A 3-2 hockey game. 1:40 left. Now Johansson looking to make amends after that giveaway. Moves around Harrison. Johansson denied.
Well, he took that right in on Ward. Only had one-handed stick, but good job getting it right in the paint.
Jackets battle up high. Here's Foligno, lets one fly. Now Harrison through the Jackets forward. Johansson into the goaltender. Ward is down.
Johansson ended up directly on top of Cam Ward. Let's look at the first start of this play where Ryan Johansson, after that turnover, turns Harrison, tries to get him. He beats him. He just couldn't get a good shot. And then he gets dumped on top of Ward. Here's the shot on net. Johansson's in front. Ward with the yard sale there, but he had no choice. 6'3", 220-pound Ryan Johansson laying on top of him.
Well, definitely got pushed there. Jackets call a timeout, 1:21 remaining. The official was right there to make the call.
Todd's going to drop a play here, and it's they've worked on this. They've had some more practice time this year. The 6-on-5, the goalie is out. Guys know their assignments, but he wants to go over it.
All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, telecommunication to the public, or other unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Columbus Blue Jackets is expressly prohibited. All right, tell us what we can expect to see here, Coach.
Well, there's two ways. If they win the face-off, they have a plan. If they lose, they have a plan of attack. Look for the defenseman to take away the wall on the far side, and the other defenseman on the strong side to take away that wall, because usually the players will try to clear it that way. You know, it's just desperation. Win it, try to get it on net, put a rebound in, score a goal, line up at center ice, lose the draw, go get the puck, put it on net. Easy from up here, Jeff.
Look at the fifth line. They're all on their feet here for the final minute 20. Here, Johansson gets away from Jenner. The net is empty. Jackets with 6 skaters on. Foligno on for Boone Jenner. Jenner at the point. Johansson. The Jackets have yet to play overtime. This would be a great opportunity to play a little extra time here and tie up this hockey game. Final minute of play. Hartnell gets to it. All kinds of traffic in front of Ward. The shot sails wide of the net. Jack Johnson's off the point. Johnson looks up high here to Johansson. Johansson fires one. That's off the mark. Jackets will have to get to it. Chopped out by Carolina. Hartnell retrieves the puck. Jackets have got to move up ice here quickly. Final minute. Atkinson looking to split the seas. Shot from the wing, and it's blocked. Thrown up high here to Jack Johnson. Oh my, Johnson at the left point. Unable to keep it in. Now Gerby out muscling Jack Johnson there. Now the Jackets get it to Johnson. On here to Hartnell. Swept out by Bellemare. The net is empty. Eric Stahl will walk in and put the puck into the empty net to ice it for Carolina. It'll be their 3rd straight win, and for the Jackets, they'll drop their 6th in a row.
Well, it was a good push at the end, but boy, I tell you what. Couldn't get the shots through. Couldn't keep the puck in at the line. Carolina puts that on ice. Cam Ward coming back the last 3 games. He's beat the Arizona Coyotes, Los Angeles Kings, and here the Columbus Blue Jackets holds them to just 2 goals. Only 19 shots on net for Columbus.
Puck set down the ice, and that will do it. The Jackets suffer defeat the 6th straight time. And they've lost 3 in a row on home ice. Falk with what proved to be the game-winning goal. shorthanded at 6:35 of the second period.